this is me, Aisha Naveed, 11th student at Rahan School Online Academy. I'm back with a new guest, and his name is Mr. Gabe. Mr. Gabe is I don't know, I don't know about him. Let's know that with himself. So, hello, Mr. Gabe. How are you?
Hi, good evening to you and good evening to everyone in Pakistan. I'm doing excellent. I'm in Florida, so it's about 9:30 in the morning here, I think, something like that. And it's a privilege to do this interview with you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But let me tell you one thing. I'm not living in Pakistan. I'm in Saudi Arabia, the mom, and it's been 4:13 here. 4:13 evening. You can say.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you're in Saudi. Okay. That's
Yeah, no
interesting.
problem. Yeah, so I'm living in the fourth. I'm living in Saudi Arabia, so it's been 4:13, and 6:13 in Pakistan. So yeah. First of all, I'll tell you about myself. I've never visited Pakistan, and yeah, I'm born here and I'm living here. I have three siblings, and we all born here.
Oh, that's great. So I've been to Saudi a few times. I haven't
Oh,
been there visiting schools, but I've been there in the past, which I really enjoyed going to Saudi. So I didn't realize. So you're in Saudi in a Rayhan school in Saudi?
yeah, no, it's not. I'm studying online. I'm an online
Oh,
academy.
with Rayhan.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. No, that's very interesting. So I thought you were in Pakistan, but it doesn't matter to me where you are. It just matters we have the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, yeah. So, Mr. Gabe, can you introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers so that everyone can know about you?
Yeah, certainly. So my name is Gabe. That's a nickname. My actually name is Gabe Gabriel, but Gabe is a nickname, and that's what I ask everyone to call me. I know sometimes because of the culture or the age, me may not be comfortable doing that, and that's fine. You can call me whatever you like, but I prefer
Thank
Gabe.
you.
I say that's what my friends call me. That's the kind of connection I want to have to you. So I was a civil structural type of engineer for NASA at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. I was doing that for 17 years, and it was amazing. I really loved everything about NASA and the opportunity to do anything on Kennedy Space Center, which ties you to NASA. As a civil structural engineer, I deal with roads and bridges, buildings and roofs, the infrastructure of Kennedy Space Center. And it's like I say with many places, as a civil structural type of engineer, I would do the same thing in Pakistan, in Saudi, in America. It doesn't matter. It's like being a nurse. If you're a nurse, wherever you are, you're a nurse, you kind of do the same thing. That's kind of how I equate it. But it's not what you do, it's where you do it that makes it so very, very special. For
I
me, being on,
apologize. Excuse me, apologize for myself because my network got disconnected. I didn't hear anything. Can you repeat for me?
yeah, so I said my name is Gabe. That's a nickname. That's what my friends call me. That's what I ask everyone to call me. So I'm not sure if I've lost you again because I don't see your picture. So I will keep talking until maybe you come back. But uh,
I'm
have you heard?
here.
You hear? Heard everything I said?
I just heard that your name is a nickname and your prince called you that, and after that I can't hear. I'm really
Okay.
sorry.
So no, I understand. I understand. I do these a lot, and I know the internet connection isn't always great. So I was a civil structural engineer for NASA at Kennedy Space Center. As a civil structural type of engineer, you deal with roads and bridges, buildings and roofs. You don't get to build the ships, and you don't get to go to space. But what you do is not so important as where you do it. Being on Kennedy Space Center, I tell everybody, is so amazing. Uh, it's like everywhere you go, there's pictures of space, there's pictures of the solar system, of the galaxies. Your mind is always going to these magical places. And it doesn't matter what you do, it matters where you are. So you're surrounded by this magic of the Space Center. Then you see a great big ship being put together inside of a building. Then it goes to a launch pad, and then it goes to these magical places. So your imagination becomes reality. It's just so much fun, and the launches are amazing. You're about 5 kilometers away from the launch site, and that seems like a long ways away, but it's actually very close. But at 5 kilometers away, you really can't see the ship, and you really can't hear it. But you kind of know where it is, and you're kind of looking in that direction. Then all of a sudden, you get a vibration in your feet, It's so powerful, it literally shakes the earth. So you have this vibration in your feet and your body's shaking a little bit. All the cars feel it, and the cars think somebody's trying to break in. So horns are honking, lights are flashing, sirens are going off, your body is shaking. And when this thing takes off, it's just majestic. It takes off really slow, and then it makes a turn, and then it's gone. And you're watching it and watching it. You still don't hear anything. You're looking this way, then all of a sudden you hear it, but you hear it over there. It goes so fast and leaves the sound behind. So it plays mind games with you. So these launches are just spectacular. And it doesn't matter to me what you do, you just have the opportunity to share in this kind of stuff. It's just so much fun.
That's so wonderful, amazing. So, Mr. Gabe, the first question is going about your professional NASA career. So, can you share what your role was at NASA's Kennedy Space Center involves?
Yeah, so my role was as a civil structural type of engineer. Now, many of the kids listening and many of you will become engineers. Engineering is a pretty common profession, but it's also a very general term. As an engineer, you can be almost anything. You know, they have civil engineers, structural engineers, they have all kinds of different engineers. So, as a civil structural type of engineers, I deal with roads and bridges and the infrastructure, the buildings, the roofs, things like that. On Kennedy Space Center, one of the things I deal with is bridges. So Florida is a peninsula. It's surrounded by three sides on water, and it's got many rivers and many lakes. So the flight hardware that comes to Kennedy Space Center comes by train or comes by truck. So it has to go over many bridges. So if the bridges aren't functioning correctly, then you can't get the flight hardware to Kennedy Space Center. You can't launch rockets. So my job would be if a bridge wasn't working, they would call me up and say, "Hey, Gabe, this bridge isn't working. Go figure out what's wrong with it." So I would go to the bridge tender, the person who operates the bridge. We sit down. Well, what's wrong with this thing? Why isn't it working? We try to figure that out. Well, how do we fix it? And then how much does it cost? So that's what I did on a daily basis. I did it with bridges, with roads, with buildings. One of the things that's critical is elevators. Most of the buildings on Kennedy Space Center are huge, and you have people working at the top of these big buildings, and they need equipment. So you can't carry this stuff up the stairs. To have special what's called a freight elevator that takes the big heavy pieces to the different floors in the buildings. If the elevator isn't working, same thing. You can't get the equipment for the people to do their jobs. So it's a lot of fun. And doing that, I went to all of the buildings on Kennedy Space Center, all of the super cool buildings, all of the launch pads. It was just great because I got to see everything firsthand.
That's so wonderful, amazing that I got so much inspirations from you. So, Mr. Gabe, with the word inspirations, I just want to know that who is your biggest inspiration in life?
Yeah, I get asked that question often, and for me, it's really kind of strange. I really can't point to any one person. The only thing I tell people when I was growing up, uh, everyone around me in my life seemed to be stressed and pressured. But I had two uncles, and these two uncles, every time I saw them, they were happy, they were having fun, and I didn't know why they were different than anybody else. But I remember thinking when I was a little kid, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like these people who are complaining and seem to be miserable. I want to be like them. They're having fun and they're enjoying life and they're successful. And I didn't know what they did to do that, and I never really spoke with them about it, and they never spoke with me about it. So they were kind of an inspiration to me in a way that I had an idea that I wanted to have fun with my life. I didn't mean I wasn't going to try to do things seriously, and I wasn't going to try to do the best I could. It just meant that in my mind, I had seen people having fun and people not, and both of them were kind of doing the same thing. And I just kind of thought, well, I want to try to enjoy what I do. And from that, I kind of did it by accident. But I tell everybody, I never worked one day in my whole life. I've always had fun, and I've always enjoyed doing what I do. So it was never work for me. And I could never understand why people, oh, I got to go to work. This is fun. Everything I've done has been fun. But that doesn't mean I don't try to do my best. And that doesn't mean I want to always improve. I just enjoy it. And that's what I tried to talk with you about. One of the reasons I do these interviews. At the end of these interviews, my goal speaking with you will be you will do the same thing the same way, but you will think about it differently. You will never think about work. You will never think about hard. You will never think about stress. You will never think about pressure. You will learn to look at things in a different way. So instead of having stress and have pressure, you have challenges or opportunities or journeys. Just look at things a different way. And nothing is ever hard. It's a challenge. And try to challenge yourself to do your best. I talk about three things. These three things are really important for me. Do your best, enjoy what you do, believe in yourself. If you learn those three things, I promise you will never work, nothing will ever be hard, you will never have stress, you'll never have pressure, and you will be very, very successful. Just learn to think about things differently.
Amazing, amazing. I like your answers. So, Mr. Gabe, the next question is being about social media and the influence. You're followed by over 1,800 people, and how does it feel to inspire others?
It's awesome. It's really, really awesome. For me, I really believe I have a great life, and I'm very, very fortunate. But most of it is through the mental way of looking at things. I know I'm fortunate. I know I'm thankful. I'm very, very appreciative. My best friend is blind, and I talk about having a friend who's totally blind, and seeing how he enjoys life, and seeing how he overcomes the challenges that I can't even imagine on a daily basis. So I remind myself, I'm so lucky. I can see. No matter what else happens, I can see. He can't. He never complains. So I'm very, very thankful all of the time. And I try to get others to feel good about themselves. When I talk about those three things, the belief in yourself is so critical. The stronger the belief you have in yourself, the easier things will be. But very few people have that belief in themselves. That's why they have stress. That's why they have pressure. And I talk about how you get that belief in yourself. Most things start with a dream, a thought, or a dream. You take that dream and you write it down, and you say, "This is my goal." And you ask yourself, "How do I get there? What steps do I take? I'm here. I want to go there. How do I get from there to there?" You have to plan the steps. Plan very small steps. Don't be in a hurry. This is critical. The smaller the step, the easier it is to accomplish. The easier it is to accomplish, it helps you build that confidence and that belief in yourself. And you do that very, very slowly. You don't be in a hurry. You build and you build and you build. And one day you say to yourself, "I can do anything." When you believe you can do anything, you will never have stress. You'll never have pressure. You just believe you can do it. And when you enjoy it, you do it better. So this is kind of the ultimate goal for me, to share in these opportunities to speak with you and many other students.
That's amazing, Mr. Gabe. I'm glad to hear that you've made a best friend who's blind because this generation, people don't even have friendship with others. Like this man is blind and like that. So I'm glad to hear that. So the next question is that what's the most inspiring message you've received?
It's really, I don't know if I have too many inspiring messages. Usually my mind is in a certain area, and I sometimes meet people who think the way I do, and I think that's awesome, and I think you can feed from each other. But most of the stuff with me, it's kind of been unique. I've kind of learned on my own, and I've kind of looked at others and looked at how they've led their lives and looked at where it took them, and tried to adapt what lessons I could learn from others along the way. But the most thing for me has always been those three things. I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was living life that way, and I really got to have so much fun with everything I did. And then I started becoming a public speaker, and that was really, really by accident. When I first started doing public speaking, I just kind of talked about the space program, and then I got a little bit more into the motivational, and now to me, it's more motivational than it is space. But when I visit schools in Pakistan or India, and I haven't really been to your country yet, but maybe sometime I will have the opportunity to go to Saudi, back to Saudi. But all of the kids, it doesn't matter to me what the country is. One thing I've learned doing this more than anything else, how much we are alike. Not similar, but identical. To me, you can take kids 8 to 10 years old from any country in the world. It doesn't matter the culture, it doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter the dress. You put those kids together at 8 to 10 years old, they're going to get along fine. They are identical. They think alike, they look alike, they act alike, they interface with each other. It does not matter the country, the culture, the dress. It amazes me how much we are alike. And what I've learned is everybody struggles. It doesn't matter the country, it doesn't matter the age. Most kids struggle because they've been taught you have to work hard. You must work hard. And if you're not successful, it's your fault. You're not working hard enough. So it's just a lot of stress and a lot of pressure put on kids at 8 to 10 years old. And to me, they should just be having fun. Learning should be fun. Growing up should be fun. For those of you, and many are very unfortunate. They're born in very poor areas. They don't have much chance for education. They don't have much chance for most of the things we take for granted. So I'm very, very thankful. And I try to inspire others to believe in themselves and to make your own decisions. This is important as well.
Yeah, that's nice. So let me talk about the public speaking because I love public speaking and I wish I could do that. So why if that's an accident, don't you love to do public speaking or talk about yourself or talk about any topic like what you say? We can talk about our family or studies, education, like that.
Whatever you like. You can ask me anything and I will be happy to answer. If you ask me something and I don't,
No, no.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying that why don't you you said that the public speaking is an
yes.
accident. So why didn't don't you like to do the public
Oh,
speaking?
I was so scared to do it for many, many years. I would never get up.
Yeah, for the first time, everyone should be scared, and I know that if I'll do public speaking in the future, I would be, and I have to be
No, you
scared
don't want to be scared.
because
Listen,
the because
let me
a lot of people are in front of you, and you are so
but
scared.
don't
Like,
be scared and don't be nervous. Be excited. When I do these talks, I've learned to never be nervous. I've learned to have fun and be excited. When you're excited, you have this feeling inside of you. When you're nervous, you have the same feeling inside of you. Learn to be excited. You are doing excellent with this interview. You can do public speaking. When you do public speaking, be excited to share whatever it is you're talking about and feel good about the opportunity to do that. Have fun doing public speaking. The more fun you have doing it, the more fun people will have listening. So never, never be nervous. I was so nervous because I didn't have any confidence in myself. I learned to get that confidence in myself. And look, it's only talking. You really can't mess up talking. And if you enjoy what you're talking about and you have fun doing it, you'll understand it's fun. And when it's fun, it becomes exciting. So never think, people often ask me, sometimes I'm going out in front of 2 or 3 thousand people to talk. Are you nervous? No, I'm excited. I'm going to go have fun. And that's what you want to do. And that's what I had to learn to do. And I learned it quite by accident. But for the longest time, I would never get up and speak. I wouldn't even say a word in front of somebody. And when I was in high school, if I had to give a talk when I was in high school, I did not go to school. And I did not go back to school until they let me without having to give a talk. And that was for 4 years. I never once gave a talk in school. So the fact that I'm doing this now, it amazes me, but I've learned why I can do it now, and I've learned to have so much fun with it. I never think about being nervous. I just think about being excited for the opportunity. And that's what you want to learn to do.
so amazing because you know what, I'm actually nervous right now because I don't know how to handle it, but
So
that's
listen,
great.
you're
I've
doing
got
you're
an
doing
inspiration
very
from you.
well.
Like, don't.
You're doing very well, and think about it.
Thank you.
You're just talking with somebody about questions or whatever. Don't be nervous. It's fine. I enjoy doing
Yeah.
this. I want to do the best I can to support you. I want to know.
Thank you
I
so
will never
much.
be critical of anything you do. I will only try to support you and just do your best and have fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. So the next question is going to be I'm returning to your professional NASA career. So have you ever worked directly on a space launch project or like indirectly?
Yeah, everything I do is indirectly. As a civil structural type of engineer, you don't get to build the rockets. You don't get to go to space. You don't really have a lot of interface with the flight hardware type of it. But I like to race cars. I like to build cars. So I'm really interested in how all that stuff is put together. So every time I had a chance where they were putting things together, I would go watch it, and I would love to do it. But yeah, as a civil structural type of engineer, most of the things I did was indirectly. Like if the astronauts are in the building and they have to prepare to go to space and the air conditioning isn't working or something within the building isn't functioning, they can't be prepared to go. So while I'm not directly putting the spacesuit on them, without the facility to do it, somebody else can't do it. So to me, we're a huge team. Everybody has a role. And when everybody does their role, everyone is successful. And nobody is more important than anybody else. We're all equal, and that's the way I look at everything I do. The same with this interview. You and I are equal. You know, you have a role, I have a
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
If you don't do your part, but I can't do mine. If I don't do mine, you can't do yours. So everything is a team, and it's always equal. Everyone is the same.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's true. Everyone is
Yes.
equal. God, that doesn't make anyone different. Yeah. So the next question is that what does NASA prepare for emergencies during missions?
Yeah, well, there's always months and months and years of preparation that goes into any mission, and much of it is spent on safety and what happens if this happens, and what to be prepared for things that you're not expecting and how to overcome them. Most of the astronauts are very talented; they can do many different things, and they're trained, and they're very special people because it takes a lot to become an astronaut, and very few are able to do it over the thousands who try. So the ones who are selected are usually pretty different and pretty special in many ways. But yeah, the thing is, you train constantly for the worst case scenario. So when it happens, you're ready. And most of the astronauts, they've been dreaming about doing this their whole lives. They're so excited to go to space. They're not too concerned, but you do a lot of special training for emergency situations.
Well, that's a great thing. Your friends like to do what you're doing. So, what is the most challenging project you've ever worked on so
So
far?
to me, I talk about this a lot. Every day is a challenge. The challenge is never to do something. The challenge is to enjoy doing something. Anybody can do something. Can you enjoy it? So my daily challenge is how well can I do something and how much can I enjoy it? So I just had major knee operation. So I'm still hobbling around and walking around and going to rehab. And when I go to rehab, I go to rehab. How well can I do this? What's the best I can do to get through this knee issue and get back to walking normally? And I do that with everything. So at the Space Center, every day was a new adventure. Every day was a new challenge. I did some really fun things. One of the most unique things I did over there, I also dealt with air conditioning systems. Florida, like Saudi, is pretty warm, so most of the buildings have air conditioning systems in them. If the air conditioning system isn't working, people are uncomfortable. Maybe the equipment is at risk, so you have to keep these things going. So one day, when I went into work, they said, "Hey, Gabe, air conditioning system isn't working in this building. Go try to figure out why." So I went over to where this air conditioning unit was, and I saw where it was, and I said, okay, it's kind of a small unit. I wonder what it's feeding. So I kind of followed into the building, and I met somebody in the building, and I said, look, I'm trying to figure out what this air conditioner feeds. And, okay, come with me. So I went with this guy, and he took me over to this. It was like a cube, a three-sided figure. It was all glass, and it was maybe 7 meters by 7 meters by 7 meters. And I'm looking inside this thing, and there's little cars are running around. And I think, well, what is this? And he said, well, this is Mars. We've simulated Mars and we built these little model rovers to see how they're going to get around in the soil on Mars. So that was kind of fun to do that. That doesn't happen most of the time in your job, but it was really fun to do that and to see something so unique that you wouldn't see anywhere else in the world.
That's so great, Mr. Gabe. I'm enjoying that. So, the next question is about your education journey. How important is education, various passion in your field?
Well, I think education is important in any field, and then to me, it doesn't matter what field you're in. You want to do your best, and in order to do your best, you really have to learn as much as you can about what you're doing. So I always talk about my education and that I hated school. I really hated school. I loved the beach and I loved sports. And when I was a little kid, they dragged me off the beach and they put me in a box and they said read, and I didn't want to do that. I really, really struggled in the school. I hated school. Oh, totally hated school, and I really failed almost everything I took. I managed to get through high school somehow, and after high school, I said, I'm done. I'm never going back to school again. And I have a twin sister, and I think I just wanted to graduate high school with her. Oh, I would have even dropped out of high school. But I got through high school, and I said, I'm done. I'm never going back to school again. And I really like to race cars. So I tried many different jobs to generate the income to race cars, and nothing worked. And after 12 years, I said, okay, I have to go to university. So I went to university at night. It took me 8 years to finish at night. So 20 years after I finished high school, I finished university. And it was the best thing I ever did. It opened so many doors for me. And one of the things I speak with students about is, one of the things I've learned about Asia or South Asia, everybody is really smart. You guys are really smart. It doesn't mean you're better, but for me, there's something in your makeup, or maybe it's your culture, I don't know, but you're able to do things most people can't do. It's amazing to me. So most of you do very well in school. It's not a problem for you. For me, I really struggled in school, but I also encourage many students who also struggle. Look, I did it. You can do it. You just have to apply yourself and give it a chance. And if all of the things I could do over, if there was one thing I could pick more than anything else, it would be to go back to school and try to apply myself and just see where it would have taken me. But I'm very thankful for where I am, and I just had to get over that dislike of school. And once I got over it, I did fairly well. But I still don't like to read, and I still don't like to sit in a box.
The voice was dropping a lot, so I could not understand. But no problem. I've heard what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's nice, and I agree with you that education is the most important thing. So, Mr. Gabe, any favorite professor or mentor who guided you
Again,
the whole life?
really wasn't anybody. People ask me, about different things, and I was driving a truck. One of my jobs was driving a truck, and I really didn't know what my future was. I loved driving the truck, but I just felt like there's something else should be in my future besides driving a truck, but I didn't know what it was. And at that time, I really had very little confidence in myself, in my ability to do anything. I hadn't been to university, and somebody had said to me, one of the guys I was playing sports with, and to this day, I don't know why he said this to me, but he said to me, have you ever thought about going into engineering? And it never occurred to me, never in my life had I thought about something like that. And when he said that, there was something he said, it just kind of put something in my mind. And I'd seen other people who had been in engineering. And I thought to myself, well, if they can do it, I know I can do it. So it was kind of a series of events that led me to go into engineering and to further my education with university.
Okay, wonderful. So, Mr. Gabe, how did your college experience prepare you for NASA?
I think the college experience, when I went to college and when I went to university, I'd been out of high school for 12 years and I'd had many jobs, and I learned to develop a lot of confidence in myself. So my college experience really, I don't think it did too much for me because I went in feeling pretty good about myself and my ability. But it was great for me to go to university and do well in school because I had never done well in school. So I enjoyed learning, and I learned a lot about being able to learn and look at things differently. But I think I was pretty prepared. I felt I could do anything, but without a university degree or a college degree, I couldn't get opportunities. In America, and I'm sure in Saudi and around the world, if you apply for a job, there's certain qualifications. If you want to be an engineer, you have to be in the university. You just can't be an engineer without going to university. So without the university, even though I felt I could do things, I couldn't apply. So the biggest thing the university did for me, and something else I did in the university was really important. Uh, I I had kind of a goal to have a B average. I'm not sure in Saudi if you have numerical or alphabetical. We have one, two, three, four. In America, A, B, C, D. A is the best, and four is the best if you have numbers. So I wanted to have a three or a B. That was my goal when I started university, because I had done so terrible in school. I said, I want to try to get this B. And I was taking a lot of engineering, physics and calculus and all these really tough math courses. And I'm not really a good student, so I was struggling. And I took an English course because I had to take it, and I got an A in it. I said, wow, I did pretty good in this, and maybe I'll take another one. So every time I took a math or science course, I got a C. I took an English and writing course, I got an A. So when you put them together, I had to B. But in doing that, I learned to really learn to write well. And I want to encourage you as you progress through school, learn to write well. It's so important, especially if you end up in an engineering type of field. Most engineers focus on math and science and the engineering aspect of learning and doing things. They don't pay any attention to reading and writing and learning to communicate that way. Uh, Writing is so important for you and everybody. As you get older and you get a job, you're going to have to do a report. You're going to have to write a report on what you did to the person who's hiring you to do it. And if you can't write well and they read the report, may think you did terrible or misunderstand what you said. So writing is really important. So indirectly for me, taking all those writing and English courses to pad my grade, it was the best thing I ever did, because writing is very, very important.
Yeah, writing is very important, but I don't like writing. I just like reading. And that also happens with me when I get an English test. I got A, and then and when I get another subject like mathematics or Urdu, the national, the international language of Pakistan, I got B.
Yeah,
So
but a B isn't so bad, you know. I mean, I know you probably want to have an
yeah,
A in everything, and you're probably used to getting an A in everything. But you know, it just depends on how badly you want it. I think if you wanted it badly enough, you would find a way. But just try to take as many courses as you
yeah,
can. Learn to write well. It's very important.
yeah. Thank you. So the last but not the least question is that how would you like people to remember you?
I think, you know, someone who cared about others, you know, and respectful to others. I always say there's two things we really should do in life, and it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your culture. Only two things you should really do: learn to treat others with respect, learn to treat others with kindness. If you can do that, I think, you know, that's the most important thing. We are all alike. I hate that there's wars. I hate that there's people killing each other. I just hate the because people don't get along, and it's not people, it's usually governments. You know, I go to India and Pakistan a lot, and these two countries are side by side. They're the same people. There's no difference between the people in these countries, yet they fight and they kill each other. And the average person in either one of those countries doesn't wake up in the morning saying, I want to go kill somebody in the other country. It's usually governments or politicians or learned behavior that's passed on to them. And it's sad to me. It's really, really sad that we can't all get along. So if we learn to treat others with respect and kindness, I think that's most important.
Whoa, wonderful. So, Mr. Gabe, if you could give one message to kids dreaming about space, what would it
Go
be?
for it. Whatever it is you want to do, you should go for it. If you have a dream of being an astronaut, you should try to become an astronaut. Whatever your dream may be, whether it's space or something else, go for it, and always establish goals. You know, those three things. Remember those three things: do your best, enjoy what you do, believe in yourself. Establish your goals, establish small steps to achieve them. Be determined. There's many challenges along the way. Sometimes things are going to go well, some say won't. Sometimes you have to go backward to go forward, but enjoy the journey. The journey is so more important than the goal. People don't understand. I have to achieve this. I have to achieve this. The focus is on achieving it. The focus should be on enjoying the journey. When you get there, it may not be what you think. or when you get there, you're going to have another one soon. If you had a great time getting there, or if you even if you have a great time getting there, it's not what you thought. You'll go try something else because you had a good time. The journey is so important. Always small steps. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Develop that belief, that confidence in yourself. Life should be enjoyed. Uh, you never fail. You never fail. You always learn. Anytime you do something, you learn. And you learn most when it doesn't go as expected. So you never fail. Never be afraid to try something. Never doubt your decisions. Sometimes you do the best you can. You realize it wasn't what you expected. You step back, you try something else. You learned in the process. You take that learning, you adapt it to your next opportunity and your next journey.
Amazing. I got a lot of inspirations, and your words just mean a lot to me. These three sentences I will write in my diary and never forgot these. Thank you so much, Mr. Gabe, for your precious time. I love those 35 minutes, and thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Thanks a lot. So this was
Before you
today's.
go,
Yeah, yeah,
can you do a
yeah,
heart for me?
yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, thank you, everyone. This was today's session with an amazing guest. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. We'll meet you